Assalamu alaikum, hello and welcome. Today we are going to look at the likelihood of DP Ruto getting impeached in the next few months. Many of his supporters and his team members argue that it is very unlikely for Ruto to be impeached because it will fail. That attempt will fail. That is the argument being put forward by people who support Ruto. But I want to tell you that if Uhuru decides today to impeach Ruto, it will not take him more than 30 minutes to do it in both houses, in the National Assembly and in the Senate. That is how powerful the president is, not only in Kenya, but in Africa generally. The president is an institution with unrivaled power in this continent of Africa. So those who are saying that it is not possible for Ruto to be impeached, they should learn from what happened last year in the National Assembly and in the Senate. The majority leader was replaced in both houses. The majority leaders have been replaced in both houses, and there was no resistance to it. Now, why would Uhuru decide to impeach Ruto? In my view, there are two reasons Uhuru can decide to impeach Ruto. Number one reason is to drive home the point that politics is local. Politics is local simply means in Kenya, politics is tribal. So this idea that Ruto is trying to propagate across the country, the wheelbarrow phenomenon that is taking root in Kenya, if it has to be stopped, then Ruto has to be impeached. And if he is impeached, it is likely that the people Ruto comes from Rift Valley, those people will cry and say mtu wetu ametolewa, and the reason is he's been witch hunted. There is witch hunt going on in Kenya, and because mtu wetu ametolewa, sisi kama watu fulani. And once that happens, then the wheelbarrow story will take different direction. And for this reason, many Tanga members should not and are not willing to buy this idea of localized politics. And if you look at how the by-elections, the last 3 by-elections have performed, people contested in those by-elections, you will notice that politics is local. The last one was Machakos senatorial by-election, and Wiper candidate won that election in the last few days. Before we go further, if it is your first time you're coming across this platform, please hit subscribe and turn on notification. The question people need to ask themselves is, will the Hustler team, the team that is led by DP Ruto, will they will they go for this trap? Will they fall into this trap of localized politics? In the event, as I've said earlier, Ruto is impeached, the motivation is to propagate localized politics. Localized politics simply means tribal politics. Because this hustler narrative, the wheelbarrow narrative, is an issue-based narrative. It is not a tribal-based narrative. It is not a community-based narrative. It is an issue-based. There are two philosophies struggling to dominate the other. The first philosophy is the philosophy of localized politics, the tribal politics. As you can see, the team that is surrounding President Uhuru Kenyatta are people who represent communities with parties. You see Wiper, you see ANC, you see Ford Kenya, you see ODM. Now, ODM was a bit different in the sense that it spread across the country. But nowadays, I cannot pinpoint the main reason why it is like this. ODM is becoming a tribal party. Just like these other parties, ANC, Wiper, and Jubilee is also now being identified with Kieleweke and Mount Kenya. So the first philosophy is tribal-based politics. The second philosophy is issue-based politics that is represented by the hustler and the wheelbarrow narrative. Wherever you are in this country, if you are poor, if you do not have, if you are have not member, then your story will be told by the hustler narrative. Your story is a hustler narrative. These two philosophies are fighting for 2022 presidential trophy. Now, as I said earlier, that the main motivation for President Uhuru to remove DP William Ruto from power will be to propagate tribal politics, full stop. But Ruto team will tell you Ruto is not a departmental chairman. He is not a CS. He is not a majority leader. He is Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And from 2013 to 2017, people will tell you, those who are in the know will tell you DP Ruto was co-president. He was running the government with President Uhuru Kenyatta. So this simply means that the system we have, deep state, as some call it, Ruto has people in the deep state. Just like Raila Odinga, who was prime minister from 2007-8 to 2013-2012. The same way Raila is powerful, so is DP Ruto. We have three very powerful people in Kenya. And for this reason, it is very unlikely for the deputy president to be impeached. Now, why will people get concerned if DP Ruto is impeached? If he is impeached, and it is very likely the way things are unfolding in the next couple of months, it will escalate, and the impeachment will be tabled in the National Assembly and the Senate. If that happens, then people should generally be prepared for full-blown confrontation between the hustlers and the localized politics narrative. I don't want to predict chaotic future, but the way it looks like 2022 will be an election, the contestation of a very high-powered presidential election. If President Uhuru was to listen to what I have to tell him, I will just advise him not to impeach DP Ruto for one reason. Kenya is in a transition period. We are moving from the last 10 years of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's rule to another period where we will have another president. And in transitional periods, no one is sure of what is going to happen. The situation is unpredictable. And for this reason, even if you have planned so well this transition, it may not go according to your plan. And if it doesn't go according to your plan, there is likelihood you will lose some stake in whatever you are trying to protect. To be on the safe side, let DP Ruto continue with being DP Ruto continue as the deputy president of this country until 2022. And that is why I think President Uhuru Kenyatta is treading very carefully, not to be seen as the front runner, who is the person who is eagerly waiting for this impeachment to happen. For the benefit of everyone, we need a stable country, and for this reason, we want peaceful transition.